Last week, we talked to you about how dangerous products in the DeFi space can be because of how much potential for return they can offer you and those who bring them to you. So, this week, we're going to talk about one of the most popular products in cryptocurrency, crypto.com. Is it a scam? Why don't
Oh,
you decide?
oh my gosh. Okay, so first off, let me give it a tiny bit of background here. This hit my radar on crypto Twitter of all places, where you're normally used to just seeing like crazy memes and, so-called shit posting, people who are just making jokes all day, essentially about crypto. But it comes from Beastly Lorian, who said, you know what? I'm going to come out and say it. Now, this is a person on crypto Twitter who has 50,000 followers. Now, within crypto on Twitter, that's considered a relatively sizable following. And Beastly Lorian said, yeah, I'm not comfortable with how big the payouts appear to be. I messaged Beastly Lorian privately and asked, hey, is it okay if we reference you in our upcoming Saturday show? And Beastly Lorian said, fine, no problem. Others have talked about this. I think I'm probably the biggest account to have begun talking about it publicly, though. Other people have just said it kind of privately and had their concerns. That said, Nicole, are we partial?
I don't think so. I mean, we try to just look at the evidence objectively and make decisions. So, or, not even make decisions, but enable other people to make decisions for themselves. That's kind of the whole point of this show, is that we don't call things a scam. We lay out the evidence and let you decide.
100%. So that said, where do we start? I guess it'd be with bombastic claims, right? Nicole,
Right.
did they make bombastic claims?
So, I mean, I guess it would depend on what your definition of bombastic is. So, claiming to return 8 to 18% annually, depending on the tokens one locks up, seems like a huge percent payout, particularly compared to other DeFi projects, like, where 4.5% to 6%, even 8% is extremely high. So, I don't know if that's a bombastic claim or not. Maybe it could be interpreted as one.
Yeah, that's a great point. I think depending on who you're talking to, depending on an actual investment professional, it'd be great to get their feedback on that. I'd know for me as just a typical consumer, not even an accredited investor, a typical consumer, that makes me a little bit concerned, but it's not so like wild, like, hey, you're going to get 200x or 1000x. It's not quite that bombastic, but it does seem a bit high in my mind.
Yeah. So I actually talked about this in a podcast, I think over a year ago, that didn't air, that was based on this same 12-point checklist called How to Spot a Scam in Crypto. And we were talking about, originally, I think that they said that they were offering up to 24% annually. And we did have an accredited investor on the show who said, you know what, that's high for lending, but it's not outrageous.
Well, there you go. Okay, so maybe it is just in a class all its own, and maybe I just need to be more comfortable with that figure being possible and attainable.
That said, it seems high to me too. So let's just move on to the other points and, let people come back to this if they want to. Seth, is there a tiered referral system?
No, there is not. It is a single tier referral system where direct affiliates or direct referrals are credited to users of crypto.com. And so it's not, there aren't multi layers or multi-level marketing incentives in place. So pretty typical for a service like this, pretty typical for exchanges as well, to offer a percentage of trades from direct referrals on a single level of affiliate marketing.
Absolutely. It seems similar to just about everything else that we've looked at, right? I mean, almost everything has an affiliate deal. In fact, we're big fans of affiliate deals.
Yeah, right. Yeah, please click all of our links.
Please click our affiliate
Yeah.
links.
On that note, where can it be traded?
Okay, so it's offered on multiple exchanges, and you can view the full list if you want on CoinMarketCap or on CoinGecko.com. I'm going to go down maybe the first 10: OKX, Bittrex, Huobi, ZB.com, KuCoin, HitBTC, CoinTiger, DigiFinex, Bitmart, BitThumb, Probit Exchange, Big One, IDODAX, and the list keeps going. It's traded on multiple exchange. And then where's it used? Obviously, it's used for staking the coin to earn higher interest within the DeFi project.
Awesome. So just exchange and then staking.
Yep.
But the next question is
Yep. Is it legal in the US and other regulated countries? And why or why not?
Well, apparently it is. Apparently it is legal in the US, but it didn't start in the US. I want to say that it started in Western European countries where as soon as it passed muster, it then made it to the US. But it is legal for US residents to participate in crypto.com today. And why or why not? Well, why isn't it illegal? Sorry to use the double negative there, but I think it's because they've been able to jump through all of the regulatory hoops to then be approved by the SEC as not a Ponzi, right? As not an organization that would be should cause concern for consumers. But I'm curious, Nicole, do actual experts promote it?
So this is something that we've talked about DeFi before, right? It's such a new product that who really is an expert in decentralized finance? There are a lot of people who promote this project. I've seen many trusted crypto influencers and people who are in the space, including some who you and I look to for information, touting the project's merits. But others are yelling that it's a Ponzi. So as for actual experts, well, crypto.com does have a partnership with crypto tax providers like CoinTracker, Crypto Trader Tax, and Token Tax. So, those are people who are, I would say, pretty expert in finance and how crypto works, but I don't know if they're actually fully endorsing it or if they've partnered with them to make it easier for consumers.
That's a really great question. And it begs the question next then, who are they marketing to?
Right.
Do they have those memberships or do they have those strategic partnerships in order to market to a specific buyer persona or to a specific buyer profile? I wonder. But the question that we have that we ask everybody to ask themselves is, are they marketing to noobs or savvy buyers? And well, offering debit cards to make it easy to buy, sell, hold, and spend crypto appeals to people from across the spectrum. Both those who are already involved in crypto and want to be able to spend their earnings, and those who may not be into all the hassles of crypto ownership with the need to maintain one's own private keys. So this product may be marketed to noobs, savvy buyers, and people who just want to earn a quick and easy buck. In my opinion, however, when you want to make crypto extremely easy to buy with a credit card, you are attempting to broaden up the appeal to the lower end of the educated spectrum. So you are definitely marketing to noobs with a product like this, 100%. But plenty of savvy investors are also looking at it and talking about it. So they're clearly marketing to everyone.
And using it, right? I mean, I've seen people posting their photos of their crypto.com cards. I mean, personally, it sounds pretty appealing to be able to live on the crypto that I'm staking while it's earning interest. I can see why people are doing it.
Oh yeah, well, especially nowadays when income from employment is down because employment itself is down. Anything you can do to help hedge, anything you can do to help bring in additional streams of profit just makes sense. But let me ask you this: who's on the team? Are they real, pseudonymous, fake? Do we know who they are?
Okay, so I was just going through their team list today. And so on the current team, I haven't really done too much deep digging beyond what they say on their website and on their LinkedIn pages. So bear in mind, that's all self-reported. But Chris Marsalak is the CEO. He's a seasoned company builder based in Hong Kong. Claims to have taken 2 times revenue from $0 to $100 million. Was the CEO of Ensogo, founder of Be Crazy, which is a company that was sold for $21 million to iBuy Group in 2013. Rafael Melo is the CFO. He has 15 years of experience in finance, deep understanding of risk compliance and mobile payments in ecosystem in Asia. Gary Orr is the CTO. He's a hacker, a product designer, an entrepreneur, 9 years of full stack engineering experience, and a keen interest in machine learning and AI. And Bobby Bao, who's the head of corporate development, who has extensive experience in investment banking, corporate development, investor relations. You can actually keep going down the list of the team's executives and senior staff members on their website, and it's an impressive list. I haven't dug into the backgrounds of anyone specifically yet. However, claiming to have contacts to huge claiming to have connections to huge companies like that without actually being able to back them up when you're a huge company like this, I do think that it probably would have come out. I'm still going to do some more checking on it, particularly if I'm really considering getting into this myself. On their advisory board is a, equally impressive list of people with lots of experience in finance and technology and AI and machine learning. Antoine Blondeau is the chairman. He's the founder and managing partner of Alpha Intelligence Capital. Rob Beer is the founding and managing partner of Trellis Asia, which is the entrepreneur startup group. Chen Li Chao, Chris Corrado, who's the group COO and GCIO at the London Stock Exchange Group, and Dimitri Samados.
Holy wow. Okay, so they definitely they've got a huge list of talent there.
They have a star stacked in terms of what their team looks like. Does it look like their team is qualified to do the job that they're saying that they can do? It does.
Okay, awesome. So what's next?
Have the founders made any claims that have since proven to be false?
Well, we don't have a whole lot of founder claims to even evaluate at this point, other than what the project claims to do, which is between 8 and 18% ROI or IRR, depending on how you measure it. And that claim in and of itself, after talking to an accredited investor, as you have in the space, apparently that's not outrageous. However, there are projects that have claimed about this much and have had either token lockup schemes. I say schemes, right? But token lockup concepts that have not been able to deliver on those promises in the past. The ICO boom of 2017 into early 2018, there were plenty of projects. Envion is one that comes to mind, that were essentially all designed to be an investment fund. And Envion, of course, was for mining. Theirs was very, very different. However, it's instructive and educational to look at some other projects that asked people to lock up funds in an ICO format, because what we're hearing, that the popular refrain right now is that DeFi is the ICO phase of 2020. And I don't know if crypto.com is going to escape that definition, right, in people's minds. But if it is like the ICO of 2020, then you're looking at this a little bit differently, right? The fact that they're calling it DeFi, instead of saying, look, give us your money, that's the bottom line, right, of any of these projects, right? Look, give us your money and we'll turn it into something else. But 8 to 18% in other projects in years past of ICOs and various investment funds, many projects have just struggled to meet that ROI level. They've really, really struggled, whether it's been through governance, whether it's been through having a qualified team that just fell short somehow, whether it's through market influences, whether it's through the interference of market makers who are working against the interests of projects like this, or who are trying to short projects like this because they have a stake in them not meeting their goals. There's so many ways that it can be manipulated. And frankly, in terms of the liquidity pool and in terms of the total market cap of cryptocurrencies, it's a really small pond by comparison to other commodities and even Forex, right? There's so many other areas in which high net worth individuals can affect markets there. And you compare that to the total market cap of cryptocurrencies, it's just far, far lower. So no claim is proven false with this team. However, anything can happen in summer of 2020. We may only be weeks or months away from hearing from this team or from hearing from users that they're just not seeing the payouts that they expected.
Yeah, exactly. This is brand new, right? So I think it may also be worth noting within this section that Crypto.com is a rebrand from Monaco. They rebranded in July of 2018, discussing why. Seth kind of said, well, they don't want, Monaco is associated with gambling. It's a place where people go to win. or lose large sums of money. When we're talking about DeFi, we're not talking about gambling. We're talking about a guaranteed return on investment, maybe not in dollars, but in tokens. And then it probably isn't the best idea to be associated with Monaco. Still, it's worth mentioning. Also, the team does own their rebrand. It says it right on their page in their timeline. So,
oh yeah, 100%. And that's just it. This is, it's not so much a claim that they made as much as just a rebrand. And so many projects do rebrand cryptocurrency projects, right? Actual coin networks, as well as tokens on Ethereum. We've seen rebrands in the space, and that I don't think should be factored too heavily when evaluating the project. But
sure.
But it was pretty funny that they decided to be named Monaco before, of all things, of all places. You know what's funny? At World Crypto Con, they gave me, I'd have to look it up. They gave me a USB drive that was shaped like a poker chip. And it has the Monaco. That's where I remember seeing it. And that's just hilarious. But yeah, you don't want to think of, sure, you want to think of your investing as maybe a risk, but you never want to think of it as a gamble, right?
Yeah. I mean, and also, I guess, just since we're right here, I should mention that this actually, as Monaco, was one of the first projects that I was really interested in cryptocurrency, because they were talking about creating a debit card that was linked to a gold-backed token called Digix.
Oh,
and I thought that not only was it a DeFi project that was promising to return within tokens, but it was actually promising to return within tokens that were backed by something that has a physical value, and it's not dollars.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I don't think that they're still associated, but there's that.
Yeah, no, awesome. Definitely worth bringing up there. And it's a change, not a claim proven false. So again, by the criteria that we have listed in this our 12 steps, then consider that it's a change, not a false claim. But they have pivoted. They have had to pivot a little bit. So consider that as well. Let me ask you though, do they have a functioning blockchain or token?
So yeah, I mean, it seems like they do have a functioning token, right? We're going to take a look at that right here. But does it work? Do people earn their rewards? Like we said, it's early. We don't know how well that's going to hold up in the long term, but there are definitely people using it. There are definitely people staking with it. Seems like it does function.
Okay, awesome. I'm going to bring up, while we are recording, I'm going to bring up crypto.com live. That's funny. Crypto Potato comes up from history. Crypto.com live. The first thing that we see here, let me go ahead and switch.
So yeah, we're moving forward to checking the GitHub repository or looking at the smart contract.
We are. Thank you. And I guess I'm asking about, we haven't brought up their website just yet. I figured I should do that here live while we track down any kind of information about the code, about the actual technical offering. But looking for a GitHub repository to check for activity or a smart contract, either one, we need to try to hunt that down. I want to take a look at just the branding of the homepage. Now, this is not in the 12 steps, but it does help to inform your gut opinion, right? The way that a team presents itself. So this is not on the list, but for many people, appearances do matter. And again, with the claims that we talked about, the first thing that I met with is a popover that says buy crypto, 3.5% fee, and then it has an animation that shrinks it down to 0%, and buying crypto with 0% credit card fee. So they eliminate the merchant processing from using a credit card. Or at least they don't place the burden on you, which is also kind of par for the course. No vendors or no real world merchant accounts. Most businesses you interact with, they might have a little bit of that reflected in their pricing, but generally speaking, they don't charge their markup from merchant processing to their customers. Anybody who does is a terrible business owner, and you should go to their competitors. So I just think it's interesting to have that listed there. I don't know why they would make it your problem, but that's the first thing. They want you to know they're not charging you 3.5%. It says buy, sell, and pay with crypto. Let's see if we can find anything from the website. Wallet, pay, earn, etc. Exchange. There are no tech specs that I can see there. Scrolling down to the footer, let's see what we can find in the footer. Chain, there it is. Now we can see the chain and an explorer. So the token, we can see MCO and we can see CRO. We can see the listing as well. All right, so under token, I'm going to click on MCO, CRO, and listing. And I've opened up the Explorer as well. So take a look at the Explorer. We can see, yeah, it shows the Explorer specifically for CRO and with the current value and all of the latest transactions, the latest blocks. That's all visible right there. And under Explorer, we can see transactions, blocks, council nodes, and events. Under Tools, we can see Wallet. And hey, there's a faucet. I did not know that. There's a faucet for CRO, which is just kind of interesting. MCO token, it is within the top 100 still of the market cap, at least as per CoinMarketCap. And then CRO is top 10. It's number 10 today. It's been very high in the stacked rankings for quite some time now, based on that popularity and the market cap. Okay, so what I'm not seeing easily is a link to the smart contract, though there is a button to add CRO to MetaMask, which is kind of cool. They let you do it fast, and that must, what that's going to do is add the smart contract for the token automatically to MetaMask without necessarily helping us see it on etherscan.io. It'd be a lot easier if I could just see it on etherscan.io. So what we're going to have to do is look up the CRO token on etherscan.io. Oh, wow. Okay. Okay, so I clicked on listing, and that brings me to an embedded Google form for having a token listed on their exchange, the Syndicate, their fundraising platform. Very interesting. So I'm going to skip past that, go to etherscan.io. And to the audience, thank you so much for your patience. Sometimes going through this part live it seems a bit tedious, but frankly, this is what doing your due diligence kind of looks like. And this is really just the tip of the iceberg. So looking up CRO, going to search for that. And yep, crypto.com coin brought me directly to it. And there are over 34,000 addresses today. Total supply was minted at 100 billion. And let's go to the smart contract. All right. The smart contract is available right here. And we're seeing all kinds of pending transactions.
Is that abnormal?
Nope, not totally out of the ordinary, but there's some pending transactions. Let's see, there's some that are still pending after 3.5 hours. That's a little strange. For being on Ethereum, I don't know if there's some additional number of verifications that need to take place. I don't know if the settlement time on CRO token based on the smart contract is just longer. So it could be that it's pending, and that's part of the design, is that it's intended to be pending for a long time. Don't know. When it comes to stuff like this, it's weird. You either want DeFi to move really, really fast under certain conditions, or you want it to move really, really slow under other conditions. It's a bit like with the store of value. Everybody talks about Bitcoin, for example, the king daddy, right, of crypto value. That moving slowly is a bit of a feature because you don't want to be able to make really fast movements with Bitcoin per se. But with some of this stuff some of these DeFi projects where we're trying to emulate the speed, the velocity of money that we see within payment processors like Visa and MasterCard, they can scale up to millions of transactions or more in a second or a minute or an hour. And we just don't see that kind of throughput on many cryptocurrencies. So on the one hand, we want DeFi to move crazy fast to be able to replace processors like Visa and MasterCard. But on the other hand, moving slowly isn't always a bad thing, especially when it comes to locking up funds. So not sure which side of the smart contract we're seeing with those transactions moving so slowly. Again, this is only a small part. I'm not a smart contract auditor. I just know where it is now. So you guys see where it is as well. Seeing the full contract itself, I'm going to pop that open right here. just for the benefit of our audience, you can see that the contract, that it is fully public. That's the important thing. It's all there. Every last line of code is right there. And it's all of 641 lines of code. It's not a very in-depth contract. It's human readable in terms of the length of it, like the size of a letter. But again, I'm not a Solidity developer. I'm not a smart contract auditor.
So if someone was thinking about putting a large chunk of money into crypto.com so that they could earn huge potential for rewards, they would definitely want to have a smart contract auditor take a look at this.
100%. You would absolutely want that done. And if you've got the funds to pay for all of 2 hours of somebody's time, doesn't matter what the rate is. If you're about to drop, like you're saying, 5 figures into this investment scheme, it's worth that person's time to just evaluate these 641 lines of code. Yeah. So they have a smart contract. I couldn't say for my own tastes whether or not I think it's fair in my mind, but that's on the list. If you have somebody that can evaluate the smart contract and explain to you in plain English what it does, then you can determine for yourself if you think the terms are fair.
And that's what the whole point of this is to give you the tools to do this for yourself, because you're not financial advisors. This isn't financial advice.
No, not at all. But what's the bottom line, Nicole? We've gone through all the other steps. What do people have to do in the end?
So is crypto.com a scam? I don't know. I'm not a financial advisor, and this isn't financial advice. Do your own research, because in the end, the only person who can prevent you from being scammed is you.
Oh, snap. So before we let them go ahead and let the folks know, what t-shirt are you wearing today, Nicole?
Oh, okay. I'm wearing my favorite one. It's the Satoshi Hodl shirt. This one, you've seen it before. If you've watched the show before, you can buy it on mineyour.biz. With how many different cryptocurrencies are we accepting now?
4 dozen and counting.
So yeah, there's that. Also, our Monday show is going to be a little bit different this week because we have someone from the traditional finance world coming on. And for news, moving into the segment with our guest, John Sneeson from the Economic Truth, we're going to be talking about some world news that may or may not be affecting the price of cryptocurrency.
Wow, I'm looking forward to that.
I am too.
Okay. And one last little tidbit for our audience, in case you haven't already seen on mineyour.biz, we have a brand new category of products under the tech section. They are privacy phones. Now, they come with 0 Google services, 0 Google apps, 0 Play Store enabled. You'd have to add those entirely by yourself if you want to have any of Google's influence on your phone. I maintain that the best way to be private is to disinvite Google, Facebook, really all of the FANG stockholders, Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, and Google. Get them out of your life so they can't track your activities. Not necessarily because you're trying to hide what you're trying to do from the government per se, but because you just don't want to have an ad profile and an ad data fingerprint made of you. So you can do that by obtaining one of these privacy phones. You can also install it yourself, install an Android open source project version of Android yourself, and do all of these steps on your own, or you can just save yourself the headache and pick one up on mineyour.biz.
Awesome. Yeah, I think that that's important that we undemonize the, use of private, or the importance of privacy, right? It's not that I'm trying to hide what I'm doing from the government. It's that I don't want tech companies being able to determine my patterns and then sell stuff back to me that I don't want or that I don't need, or that's going to influence me to go in a certain direction.
100%, especially now in an election year, guys. Get these guys out. Get these companies out of your head. Yep.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks, Seth.
Yeah. Thank you, Nicole. We'll see you all next week.